You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
How firm thy friendship. Oh,
you know what time it is. Raw with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lames. And it's Buckeyes by a billion. We in the building with over 100,000. We represent from the uttermost to the public housing. If we don't play, all wide receivers got your secondary shook, so they cook them like Bobby Flay. Hey, stay out of my way and trust me, cause I know it's a way. Somebody please give this brother an eye. Come on.
What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to the Buckeye Boys, where we talk about college football with real fans. I'm Devin. That's Mello. And as you can see, we're doing it again. We got some big-time guests on here with us tonight. We got Jay and Xavier Griffin. How are y'all doing tonight?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Good. You guys don't really need too much of an introduction here in Buckeye Nation. Xavier, they're Buckeye fans, us included, are pretty locked on to your recruitment right now. 5-star linebacker, number 1, number 2 linebacker in the nation, depending on where you look. So pretty excited about what school you're going to pick. But we're going to dive into a couple questions tonight, get to know you as a player, get to know your mom, right, and see how this recruiting process is affecting her. But chat, do something for me, man. Hit that like button first, if you would, and share this on your X, your Instagram, your Facebook for us. You know what to do there. Super chats are open. You got a question, put it in there, and we will ask it for you. Mello, how you doing, bro?
Man, I'm great. So the funny story is, I know his head basketball coach, Charlemagne Gibson. We're actually good friends. My daughter plays on the same soccer team as his daughter Bria, who's going to University of Miami. She's a beast. They're actually really tight. So if I would have known, I would have tried to set it up. We could have just used his house. We're actually talking about today. I didn't even realize we were interviewing him today, which is pretty cool. So what do you think about Charlemagne? Don't worry, I won't tell him, so that way you won't be doing any suicides or 16 practice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely a good coach. Like, he's probably, like, basketball wise, he's probably one of the best coaches that I personally had. Like, I mean, he's always making us work hard. You know, he don't care about all the like extra stuff that, you know, most coaches look at. Like, he don't care about the stars, the offers. You know what I mean? Like, he just play who, you know, really want to be here, really want to play. It'll send you home. It'll send you home quick.
Yeah.
Sounds like my kind of coach there. Well, let's dive into it, man. Let's figure out, obviously, big-time football player, going all over the country right now, visiting the top schools in the nation. You know, recently decommitted from USC and kind of opened your recruitment back up. But I want to start from the beginning, man. I want to find out, like, why football, right? So what was your age when you started playing? And kind of just give the listeners a little insight of, like, how it went for you at a younger age and why you chose football.
I would say I first started playing in about like kindergarten, and I played until 2nd grade, and then she made me quit the 2nd grade because I ain't really like getting hit back then. So and then I started playing again in 7th grade, and I think 8th grade is probably when I, you know, thought like football could be it, and then 9th grade, I think after that season, like I knew football is what I wanted to do. So.
Yeah.
So
Mom, same for you. Just your perspective of the same question there. Your perspective, though.
Like you said, you know, I made him quit in 2nd grade. He was the kid wanting to run out of bounds. So it's funny to see now he is the kid running people out of bounds.
Yeah.
But, you know, I knew once he picked it back up, like he said, 7th grade was a decent year. We moved to Georgia in 8th grade. And so you could really tell, like, he just loved being out there. He played offense, defense, special teams. So they had him kind of everywhere. And then once he started high school, after 9th grade, getting used to a system, getting used to coaching schemes and, you know, the coaching staff, it was like, okay, he's fixing to take off. And he did. So here we are.
Amen.
So I know you guys are originally from Alabama. What made you want to make the transition to Georgia, and not just Georgia, but to Gainesville? If people don't know, you got to go up 985 to get to Gainesville. It's up there.
I actually have family here in Gainesville.
Okay.
But I am born and raised in Alabama. And literally, I was going through a divorce, wanted a fresh start. He came to me and he's like, "Ma, I'm serious. I want to play college ball one day." So I'm like, "Hey, Georgia football is different. You know, there's some dogs out here." So
absolutely,
that's how we ended up over here.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
that
you guys
sounds
got
good.
one of the best facilities in the country for right now until Buford probably finishes theirs. Your guys, your facility always on everything. If people don't know, go check out Gainesville High School's facilities. It's state of the art.
Definitely one of the best.
So Xavier, obviously, with his athletic as you are, I can imagine as a young football player, you're probably all over the place as far as position wise goes. So can you kind of tell us what that looked like for you a little bit younger, as far as what positions you were playing and when you kind of started honing in on the linebacker position in particular?
Yeah. So I'll just start from middle school. So 7th grade, I played safety and tight end. And then when we moved to Georgia, at first they just had me playing DN. And then it was kind of like midway through the season, and like everybody just kept telling me to put me on offense. So then I started playing running back, and I played a little receiver. And then when I moved to Gainesville, they at first they started me out at receiver, and then about midway through the season, the D-line coach came up to me. He was just saying how like he think that he could use me at DN and like on like third downs and pass rush and stuff. So I tried it out, and that's when I really started. That's when I started playing defense, and I really just stayed at DN. And then that upcoming season, just coach was just saying how he could use me at more than just DN, you know. So then we started playing linebacker in that like versatile linebacker spot. So I mean, after that, like that's probably how much like I've been playing linebacker just since then. So
yeah, and mom, for you, right? We talk to a lot of moms about we hear a lot of moms say that they pull their kids like from the sport because of they don't like the physicalness of it. So what's your side of that position change and whatnot? Because football is physical together, but being on the D line linebacker position, I mean that's contact every play for sure, no doubt about it. So walk us through your side of that a little bit.
I mean, I was excited. I love football, so to see him really, explore that beast that he has in him, that we all know he has in him, it was exciting. Sometimes I feel bad for the quarterback on the other side, but outside of that, I mean, it's just an exciting thing to see him out there and explode the way he is. He's very fast. I tell people all the time, if you watch him walk, you would never know how fast he is, but he really is. He's a quick little guy. So to be able to see him out there just doing his thing, it's a proud moment.
Yeah.
So Jay, at what point did you know that Zay was different? This is actually a question for both of you. When did you know he noticed that he was different from his peers, like that he was going to be a top player nationally?
So, to be honest, I feel like as parents, we always speak into existence things. For me, I always tell them, since birth, I've always told you you're going to be different. God's going to use your athletic ability, to have that platform to change the world. And one thing I've always told them too is never allow yourself or anybody else to put you in a box. So, being able to use that versatility, definitely once he got to high school. And I'm like, hey, he's starting to step into it. The coaches know what they have. So at that point, it was really like, he's fixing to go, top in the nation. That's what we're shooting for. And, right now, some rankings, he's number 8, but like I told him, I'm like, my guy, to be number 8 out of everybody, like that is awesome. So
that is crazy. And the top 2 linebackers reside in Georgia, by the way.
They do.
I live by Tyler Atkinson right now, and I'm in between Archer and Grayson High School.
Okay. So, yes.
Xavier, what about you? That question for you. When did was there ever a moment in time when you really realized, hey man, this might be my future right here?
Yeah. I would say like just to answer that, like when I thought I was different part, like honestly, like really I mean, I don't know. I really think since I started playing sports, really like I never knew exactly what sport it was gonna be, but
Hmm.
I've always excelled in every sport I've played, you know. So
Mhm.
I wasn't really sure what sport it was gonna be, but I knew I was different from my peers. But I would say, like football wise, I mean, I would really say that like eighth grade year,
Hmm.
just because like I feel like that was just the year like I really gained confidence with the game, you know, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
just I mean, I don't know, like I just finally got to, just get thrown out there at different positions and like really just see what all I can do, you know. So I think that's like when I gained my confidence and like, I mean, everybody was, it was nobody really stopped me that year. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's really when I like realized like I was different, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So everybody knows you as a big time football player, for the most part, like Ohio State fans and stuff, right? And Jay, we know you as a 5-star linebacker's mom, right? But
Right.
let's get to know you a little bit outside of football here. So Xavier, let us know, man. What are you doing when you're not playing football? And Jay, for you, what are some family things you guys enjoy doing outside of football?
Okay. Nico.
I mean, well, first of all, I like to game. I like gaming. I like, just like hanging out with my friends and stuff. When we lived back in Bama, I used to like fishing. I like doing that. Like listening to music. Like, I'm pretty chill. I stay at the house a lot, so and then like we'll go out to eat a good bit too. So
There you go.
What you playing?
you said what I play?
Yeah, you on that Fortnite with Bria and them?
I do play Fortnite though. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. I
And
play.
mom, how do you like his relaxation? How he gets away from the game? Do you think he's doing it right, just so that way he can stay mentally and physically fresh for such a grueling season here in Georgia? I mean, the
Yeah.
competition day in and day out is always elite.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. He's a great kid. He doesn't give me any problems. Like you said, he's a homebody. So,
Yeah,
if he's not here, I know he's football or he does have a girlfriend. So, he's
yeah,
with her. But he's not out here causing trouble.
right,
So I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I
So
mean,
what are
we have
some
a big family. So we like
Hmm.
to do a lot of family dinners,
yeah,
grill. I like to grill. So we're always doing something around the house, or we'll try to sneak in a vacation every now and then.
Yeah.
nice. Well, let's dig into this college recruitment ordeal here a little bit, right? So tell us the first offer you got and when was it? And I can, Mom, you can kind of speak up there about your emotions about it as well. And kind of, because I'm sure we always ask people this because they always remember it and they always like remember the details behind it. And I like hearing them details. So Xavier,
Yeah.
let us know. First offer, man.
My first offer was South Florida.
Yeah.
I remember. See, I was in healthcare class. My recruiting coach, he had just called me. He was just like, "Come upstairs real quick." And I had went up there, and he was just telling me, he was just like, "You got your first O," and he was like, "Congrats!" And I was so excited. I didn't even know what to say. I was just like, "Let me call my mom real quick." I had called her, and I was just going crazy. I was excited, man. So
Yeah, he called me. I was at work, and I mean, it's just a proud moment. I'm like, okay. I'm like, here we go.
Yep.
I told him, I said, once you get that first one, it'll start rolling in. So
Yeah.
it was a great day.
And what grade
Yeah.
was this?
Oh, this was the spring of my ninth grade year.
Okay,
Mm.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. So Ohio State, let us know, when did they come in the picture? Like, who was the first person to reach out to you from Ohio State, and when was it?
You do.
It was
Coach.
Coach Leonidas, I think.
I think Coach
Yeah.
Leonidas was the first one.
And it was spring of 10th grade.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually got to take a step back here because, right, I'm not going to lie. Like, when I see Jay, when I see your Twitter page, I think it says Bama made
It is.
on there, right?
is.
So just got to know what Tell us, right? Who was the college team you guys are watching? Who are you fans of? And then throw in there, what have your thoughts been of Ohio State this whole time? Like not being recruited there, but hey, when you hear
No.
Ohio State football, what did you guys always think before this started?
So for me, Bama made, obviously, I'm born and raised, so I am a huge Bama fan. I've never let that be a secret, so everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Right.
So growing up, I mean, I used to watch Ohio State. I liked them, and then there was times where I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're so obnoxious." But I think that's every school.
Yeah.
Probably 2014.
Even with Bama, I'm like, there's obnoxious Bama fans at times. But
Yeah.
But I mean, I've always, like I said, I always liked them. My uncle used to live in it was not Cincinnati, but close to the Cincinnati, Kentucky line. And so we were always around Ohio State fans up there. And, just being a football person in general, obviously, you watch their games. They've had some really great games over the years. And then Coach Laurinaitis, I mean, he's awesome. And that's something I tell him all the time. Like, he truly knows the Buckeye way. He's one of the best linebackers to come out of the school. So to be able to be recruited by him and, possibility of being coached by him, that is a really huge deal.
Yeah. So,
Xavier, how about
have
you?
guys experienced a practice or anything while you were up there?
I
Witnessing?
don't think we've been to a practice.
Okay. So when you walked into the Woody, did you, because we always hear about the brotherhood and you just feel the aura walking in, stepping into the building.
Yeah.
Did you experience that? Could you feel that aura and that brotherhood when you got into the WAC?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely could. Like, I mean, it's just different, like going up there. And I think, especially like during the OV, I mean, as soon as we walked in the building, I forgot, it's like a little place, it's like a little room, like right next to the entrance. And they had played like a hype video. And like just to start the OV, like that was a great way to start the OV, like, because you can just feel like the like aura and the intensity, like just of the players and stuff. And you hear Coach Day yelling like on the screen and stuff, and then like it was a great feeling. And like going into the shoe, like it was good. We went to the spring game last year.
Yeah.
When it was like 80,000 people at a spring game, like that was crazy. Like,
yeah,
I've never seen something like that.
Xavier, so let's take a step back real fast here. Mom just said big Bama fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that same question I asked her. What are your thoughts there? Mom being a Bama fan, are you a Bama fan as well? And what are your thoughts of Ohio State always been?
Yo, yes, of course, growing up Bama, I was a Bama fan too. I mean, I really think like that side didn't really like matter once recruiting started, just because you see so much here, Mom. But you see so many like schools, like you just can't like, that fan just go away, like when it comes to recruiting, like it's on another side, But growing up, I mean, I saw Ohio State a little bit. I never really watched them that much until I think that one year, maybe with Justin Fields, maybe. I think that was probably. Well, no. I do remember watching them when Ezekiel Elliott was there.
2014.
I do remember that. And I mean that was good seeing him. Like that was one of my favorite players. Like watching to grow up. But I think like Justin Fields, when Justin Fields was there, I think that's when I like really started like watching them. Man. Like it's nice. Like they've produced a lot of good players. Especially like on defense and offense, like just knowing like they can develop guys. So that's big. And Coach Laurinaitis, like she said, like having somebody that's been through Ohio State, did it in the big leagues. One of the top tackler in at the Rams history. Like that's big. Like having that as your coach. You don't get that really anywhere. So
yeah.
So
you kind of answered.
Go ahead.
You go ahead, Mello. You got it.
Oh, so did you watch Ohio State at all last season, followed him a little bit? And if so, did you watch the linebacker position, especially Sonny Styles, seeing how he performed? If you look at his development, his track from the first game to the national championship game, and just realizing he's never played linebacker in his entire life before last year. What was your thoughts on how they performed as a team, and then just the maturation of Sonny Styles in just 1 year playing big time college football and being a key contributor to a national championship team?
I would say like towards the beginning of the season, I don't think I really watched him, but I think that Penn State game, I think that was the first game I really watched them, and like, I mean, just even that game, like they just came out strong, like on both sides, and they was doing good. Like I really liked the way that their defense played last year. Like, I mean, they played hard, like they was all tough, and like they just played together as a team in general. And I think really like seeing them after that that team up north loss. After seeing that and like seeing how they came back from that and like going through the playoffs, like I think that was big. Like just seeing them like, learning from a lesson. And after that, the Oregon game too, like just seeing that like after, man, like that playoff run was crazy. Like seeing that, I think I watched every game of the playoffs. Like, I mean, they did good every game. And to answer your question about Sonny, like, I wouldn't say I really watched too much at him, but I mean, I seen him. I mean, he was everywhere. So like, you seen him making plays all the time,
Yeah.
But seeing like the progression he's made from playing safety to going to linebacker, like, I mean, it's good. So you see James, developing, just right there. So.
Yeah.
And Mom, did you watch any Ohio State last year at all?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And what was your thoughts?
I'm a big Caleb Downs fan. So.
Oh yeah. You see those Georgia boys coming up there and just doing work. K-Mac, Edric,
doing their thing.
Caleb, they're doing really well up here.
So one of the reasons we love doing these interviews is because obviously, like, college football recruiting has become a huge industry, right? You have like 247. We call them Con 3, but they're known as On 3. They always do these interviews with players and stuff, and that allows the fans to kind of, that's the only information they have on these recruits. So the fans start to get an idea of who these recruits are based off of like interviews every once in a while, that who knows whether, right, it was actually said, the context it was said in, then they share certain quotes. So that's why we love doing this, so fans can actually see the true side of these recruits. But I am going to ask something. One of the first articles I read really intrigued me about you was about kind of how Ohio State has got back in the picture here. And the article stated that with Jim Knowles, you really didn't see yourself in that scheme too much, which made sense, right? We lost several recruits because of that. But now Matt Patricia, right, come in and kind of show you something there. Can you speak on that just a little bit and give us the, we read the articles, but tell us your side of it. Was that actually a thing? And how's that going now with Matt Patricia?
Yeah, it definitely was. I think really it was a kind of a mutual thing. Like, I didn't really see how I would fit into their scheme last year, and I don't think they really, like, of course they wanted me, but I don't think they could see me, like they didn't think they could use me at like my full potential. So I think it was kind of a mutual thing. So then once Patricia came, I think they started recruiting heavier on me, and it kind of brought my eyes back to them too, just because they have somebody that will play me how I want to be played now. So.
And how is that exactly? Like, how do they see you fit in the defense? How are they trying to use you?
Just kind of like that, versatile linebacker, just, always moving around, get on the edge sometimes, still dropping in coverage and stuff, like just being versatile.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jay, for you, like I said before, we do Pop's Pod on here, where we kind of see the parent side of things. And, Daniel and Duke, they speak about people around these recruits, the support group that is created. Because obviously with recruiting now, with NIL, the transfer portal, these street agents, the whole 9 yards, you have to be on guard as a parent, and as a recruit, and only let certain people in. So kind of give us the rundown there of like, who is the support group that you guys are surrounded by? Mom, who do you lean on for if you want to find out, hey, can my son be utilizing this scheme? Like in that situation there, how do you give your input on situations like that?
For me, when I talk to these coaches, football, I'm not going to lie, the schemes are like foreign language for me. But I am able to, because I do understand football, and I do understand my child, I am able to understand, hey, I know if you're just wanting to play him on the edge, that's not going to work for him. If you're just wanting him to be, in the box, he's not okay with that either. He truly wants to be versatile. And it goes back to what I said earlier, don't allow yourself or anyone to put you in a box. He is a great athlete. I know that. Every coach that has recruited him knows that. So, sometimes the schemes don't work. And, me and my fiance, like, we were ecstatic about Ohio State last year. Like, literally, that was our school before he had committed to USC. But he was like, Mom, he's like, I don't think the schemes are going to fit. And so I'm like, okay, so we had to back off. And then when Coach Laurinaitis came back around and he's like, hey, we got a new defensive coordinator, the schemes are exactly how I see Xavier, how he sees himself. So that was very interesting. That's how literally Ohio State came back in the picture. Just because of the fact, Laurinaitis has always been a good friend. He's always kept in touch. But, obviously we had to make sure you recruit who you need to recruit, and we need to talk to who we need to talk to, because at that time it wasn't working. So
Mom, what do you think of the city of Columbus itself? Can you see your son living there, playing there, growing as a young man there, and growing as a young man with this Buckeye culture that they have? We know they have a strong faith foundation behind them.
Yes.
Do you feel comfortable sending him to the city of Columbus? What are your thoughts?
I honestly do. Even before this go around, like I said last year, I mean, hey, I was all for it. I like Columbus. I think it's a really nice city. It's growing.
Yeah.
And that's something that he's interested in, business and real estate. So when we went on the official visit, we were actually able to talk with some big time developers in Columbus. So that was huge. Because this is something that he's looking for his future, because he knows at the end of the day, one day you're going to have to hang up these cleats.
Right.
So definitely, I mean, I have no problem at all. Obviously we don't mind traveling. We were going out to Cali. So
right. Would you move to Ohio, or would you stay in Gainesville?
I will not move anywhere. It doesn't matter where he goes. I'm not moving. Now, when he goes pro, I might move, but college, no. He's only going to be there. He's trying to do 3 years and he wants to be out.
So, kind of wrapping this thing up a little bit. We're going on 30 minutes, which is a shame because I've asked about 15% of the questions I wanted to ask. I could talk. It's a very good interview, by the way. I love your guys' response to the questions. It's genuine. So good stuff. Yeah, y'all do interviews well together. So congrats on that. So this aura out there, right, with this Bama, everybody just keeps talking Bama. And I guess just straight up, like, I mean, I know, have you set a commitment date, correct?
Yes, sir.
You set one, right? So, what do you have to say to those people out there that are just saying, hey, they know it's Bama? Is this going to come down to, having to sit down with your family and make some hard decisions? Like, what would be your response to that? If you want to, you don't have to respond to that.
I mean, I just want people to know, like, it's really harder decision than like people make it seem like. Like, I think everybody just think it's like gonna be Bama, and I see some people just think it's Ohio. So I see some people think it's just Texas. So I mean, some people think it's Florida State. So I just feel like, I mean, it's really hard. Like going in, like, I mean, I didn't think it was gonna be as hard as it was. Like for real. Like I tell my mom that, like. Because, I mean, you come home after every visit and you just enjoying it, like you loving it. So, I mean, it's gonna be hard. I wouldn't say it's really a lead runner right now. I think everybody is like pretty even for me right now. So,
So, Mom and Zay, what are you guys looking for when you commit into a school? Like, What are the factors that are going to make you say yes, that's the one?
For me, I'm all about who is the man behind the title coach. You know, literally, he's going to be 17 when he goes to school. So he's still a baby, and he's always going to be my baby.
Right.
So I want to make sure, as far as, the coaches, whether it's position, whether it's, the coordinator, the head coach, all the above, I want to make sure everything I've done in the last 17 years is not undone.
Right.
So that is very big for me. Academically wise, I want to make sure he's surrounded with a team that is going to push him when he needs it, because I'm not going to be there.
Right.
So, football, I think with all four schools, honestly, I don't have a question about it. I think they'll be great at developing him, helping him get to the next level. So as a parent, it's the man, I want to make sure you're developing him as a young man into a grown man, as well as, making sure he's that great student athlete that we know he can be.
Yeah.
And what about for you, Zay?
Yeah, I would say for me personally, kind of like what I hit on earlier was just like first, I think, well, I wouldn't say first, but one of the things, of course, is scheme. Like just making sure I'm being played how I want to be played. I would say, just playing with a coach that like playing for a coach that I know like can develop guys, like that's developing people, getting people to the next level. Just having like I like playing I would like to play for a team that has like a good tradition, like good winning tradition. I would say development, of course, and I would say one that's gonna like set me up for life after football, just because like just with like the real estate, of course, is one of the biggest things for me. And I don't think that would be a problem anywhere I go. And just like a team that's going, like market me too, because I think that was something that was big, like going on these visits, just seeing how they market guys. Like, everybody thinks it's about like NIL, like what they're gonna pay you and stuff, but you also got to market yourself, like to get those deals. So, I think that's big. Academics is fine, everywhere has good academics. So
yeah,
I think those are probably the biggest thing, like just having that place that feels like home.
Yeah, that market aspect, it's even bigger now that the NCAA has made the rulings they've made. So it's good that you got your mindset on that. Well, final questions for me, and I don't know if Melo's got a final one or not, but as I told you, all these articles get put out, right, about recruits. Well, all we keep hearing is about this official visit, right, to Ohio State, and how it kind of really changed things for both you and your mom. That's what we've been reading anyway. So I would love to we'll start with Jay, your perspective on that official visit, and what were the highlights? What were some things that really kind of opened your eyes to your son potentially playing at Ohio State?
For me, like the biggest thing I think that stood out was, how Ohio State football is surrounded by the faith. How the faith literally led them last year. Spiritually, everybody has their own preference. But at the end of the day, like I tell him, without God, nothing is possible. Right. So, just talking to the coaches and them knowing that, but the players knowing that as well, that was really huge, and being able to sit down with Coach Patricia and just really getting to know him better, his why as to why he came to college football, let me know, hey, this is a man that cares about my child as a young man. His why was literally, he has kids. He said he, being in the NFL, he was, I think, Thanksgiving. His oldest son, came home to see him. And, he's like, he's about right here. He said, and then Christmas, we're seeing eye to eye. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to miss, he's getting ready to start high school. So that meant a lot to me as a parent, because at the end of the day, when I know that you care for your kids, I know you're going to care for mine as well. And so that was really big. And like I said, the being able to talk with the real estate people, I think that was huge. Some schools will tell you, oh yeah, we have a good real estate or degree, or we're connected with people, but they actually took the time to set up with people to connect with us. So for me, that meant a lot.
Amen.
Absolutely.
Xavier, how about you?
Oh, what was the question again?
What was the highlights of the official visit? What was it specifically about the official visit that might have, changed your outlook or your thoughts on Ohio State?
Yeah. I think me personally, I think the biggest thing definitely was probably the real estate part. Like honestly, like kind of like she said, like a lot of schools will say like they have good real estate, good degrees, they know people, but like to actually bring in people and to show us things like and teach us more about the real estate, like I think that was big for me, like honestly. I think another thing, of course, was talking to Coach Patricia too. Like she said, I mean that changed. That Coach Patricia alone really changed a lot. For me for OSU. So I mean that was big. Talking to Coach Laurinaitis just about how he would use me and just getting more to know him personally. I think was big. And getting to talk to some of the like guys that are there now. Like I think that was also big for me too. So.
Yeah.
So for me, I just want to say this. I think both of you are two great people. I've already heard a lot about you just from obviously Charlemagne. He speaks highly. And I know you guys have a special place for Bama in your heart, but it sounds like the Buckeyes are checking a whole lot of boxes there. You might look really good in that scarlet and gray. I mean, honestly, you guys might end up having, if you did commit, you guys could end up having one of the best classes of all time, especially in that linebacker room with you, Tyler Atkinson, possibly some of the other guys that might commit. So I just want to thank you guys for coming on. Hopefully we'll meet one day. But yeah, I know I'm looking forward to watching you play and ball out this year, and hopefully see you guys play Langston Hughes in the state championship.
Yeah. Thank you.
Speaking of that marketability too, let everybody know where they can find you at, man, and also let us know where can we tune in to this commitment and when is it? Just give everybody a reminder of when you plan on committing and where we can watch that at.
I'm committing the 29th of this month.
It'll be live stream, but I've got a couple of different people that have reached out, so we haven't for sure set it up yet.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I'll be live on Instagram too, so
yeah.
There we go. All right. Well, like Mello said, it's been a thrill. It's been awesome. We always love getting to know these recruits and families a little better, especially the Ohio State recruits. I mean, there's the only people we interview, right? But as far as that, it's pretty similar. Got a really good support group, good head on your shoulders. Xavier, blessed by good parents that are helping you along this path, man. Keep up the good, hard work. We're excited to see you play college football wherever it is. We would love to see you in scarlet and gray, man, but we can tell by talking to you and talking to your mom as well. It don't really matter where you go. You're gonna succeed wherever you go. It's been a joy.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see where you commit. Maybe we'll get you guys back on the channel again another time. But y'all have a blessed day. We appreciate you guys. You got any final words for anybody or anything?
No.
No? Good to go. All right. Y'all have a blessed night. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Oh, wait.
Yep.
Ow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, Mello, I guess we're going to keep saying the same thing. But yeah, no wonder that young man and his family are being recruited by Ohio State. Isn't it kind of crazy how when we first started this thing, we always talk about the recruit. Well, the truth of it is Ohio State is recruiting the recruit and their family. That is a whole package deal there that they're recruiting. So that was good stuff, man.
Very good stuff. I mean, obviously, I know somebody very close to their family, so like it's cool and it's crazy because I was just talking about him with his basketball coach today at the scrimmage, and then you hit me up like Zay's coming on at 8:45. I'm like, that's crazy. I was just talking about him. So like it was pretty interesting to see his true feelings towards Ohio State and his mom's true feelings towards Ohio State. We definitely check a lot of boxes. So it's going to be interesting because he still has his Texas OV coming up. it's going to be interesting to see where Ohio State sits after that official visit.
Yeah, for sure. And for the first time, I will say it sounds like the national media and the recruiting services out there, they're hitting this one on the head pretty much. I'm having the same vibes. Ohio State has a realistic shot. I mean, you heard it before. The parents were all Ohio State before he committed to USC. So obviously, mom being a Bama fan, I think Saban leaving might have changed a lot there. But obviously, as a parent, you want whatever school is going to help your son succeed the most. And he said that whole fandom stuff kind of goes out the window when you're in the recruiting process. Just based off talking to recruits, that's an all-around ideal that all these guys have. Like you hear about dream schools and where these recruits, who they rooted for and whatnot. That stuff isn't really as big as a factor as people make it out to be. I mean, it sounds good and it would make sense that it's a big factor, but man, these days it's just not anymore. I really don't think it is. So you heard it here, man. Ohio State has a legit real shot. He's making his decision on the 29th. So we'll see. From the sounds of it, I would say the decision is not yet made. So we'll see where he picks. Hopefully he's a Buckeye. That'd be great. Matt Patricia, killing the game. I have a whole lot of other stuff I want to talk about, but we got a show tomorrow. I'm going to save it for that, except for one thing. Kari Wilder, right, committed to the Buckeyes. Big time get, man. He is elite defensive lineman. We've talked about him over and over again, but I do want to say something because he committed. And the only articles that I read coming out of the Ohio State side of things was how good Matt Patricia did in this recruitment. How Matt Patricia deserves a bunch of credit. Good job, Matty P. Good job, Matty P. And I'm freaking sick of it, man.
Right.
Yeah, good job, Matt Patricia. Right. But this whole idea with let's make LJ look like he ain't doing nothing. I mean, we got to grow up. You got to, move on down the road. I'm not quite sure what LJ has done to these people, but man, it fires me up, dude, because then check this out. Then you go read from over there on Column 3, actual quotes from Kari Wilder. And the only person he mentions is Larry Johnson, the entire article, and Coach Day. Now, this little rant is not to downplay Matt Patricia. He has been killing the game, and I'm sure he helped with that as well. The point of this is to show Buckeye fans how obvious it is that the information that is being pumped to us for some reason is negative towards Larry Johnson. And man, I have a lot more, right, of these visits that are coming up with these. We got some big time defensive linemen. I will add this upcoming weekend, Ernest Rankings just added us on his official visit list for this weekend. He's a top defensive lineman in the nation, 6'6", 285 pounds. He's visited Auburn and Florida State already. Now he's coming to Ohio State, and Georgia will be his last official visit. But Larry's in there, man. Larry's in there with these recruits, and we've been telling you here on the Buckeye Boys that Ohio State has something up their sleeve, and what they have up their sleeve is the pressure that they're putting on these guys in a good way on their official visits. Larry Johnson, Matt Patricia, Ryan Day, these defensive linemen on their official visits, they're bringing the house down. They are coming strong with everything to get these guys. So have a little faith in Larry Johnson, and maybe don't believe everything you read. Wait till you see the results. Just won a natty and sent all 4 of them to the NFL. So I don't know what's going on with all this downgrade Larry Johnson, right, stuff that's going on, but I don't agree with it at all. Mello,
I'm right there with you. I'm glad you cooked that up. One thing that's grinding my gears is all these people, podcasters, beat writers, talking about how our defensive tackle depth is trash. Man, listen, our defensive tackle depth is not trash. Do you think that we've been saying this? Do you think Coach Day would just let it go if it was really that bad? There's no way. There's absolutely no way. You're going to be pleasantly surprised. We talked to these recruits that seen them practice. Like, the defense is going to be nasty. And a lot of people, I hope you guys have your eyes open and you listening to these people that are saying how bad it's going to be, when it's going to be the opposite, right? and you're hearing it here on the Buckeye Boys first, and then just try to like use your own opinions and eye test and everything else to like make a conscious decision instead of being negative. Like that's why the fan base is negative, because you're getting fed negativity all the time. And some of these people know, but some of these people don't have any type of sources or know anybody or talk to anybody that would know. So you always have to keep that in mind. Look at the people that they're talking to. How much do these beat writers even actually see practice? They're seeing like 5-10 minutes worth of practice. We're talking to people that see the entire practice because they're being recruited there. So, you guys just need to relax. LJ is the GOAT for a reason. Every kid we talk to that's on the D line that's being recruited is telling us that on and off camera. So, like, you guys have to relax. Seriously, LJ is him. And even you already heard Jay Cruel. He said if LJ leaves, he's not worried because LJ said he's still going to be around the building because he's not leaving Columbus. He's just not going to be doing it full time. He'll just be in the room still helping and developing, but they're going to pick the right guy to replace him if he does leave. So you guys just need to chill out. Like, we are in good hands as the Ohio State University, the most bulletproof program in the history of college football, period.
Yeah, and, I'll just be straight up honest with you. Yeah, there are things about the way that Larry recruits that I don't agree with and that I don't like and that I think are a negative. Like, I don't think it's good. Like, there are things, but who am I? I mean, I'm literally a fan, right? I've never done this thing before. So you got that too. But I would just encourage you as a fan, whatever idea you have of Larry Johnson, his recruiting, it's okay to have it, even if it's negative. Like I said, I have some things about the way he recruits that I don't like, that I think is hurting our defensive line recruiting. But make sure you're getting that idea from stuff that you know. Just don't grab that idea based off of an article that you have read written by somebody. Okay, so being in the position me and Mello are in now of kind of having some inside scoop on quite a bit of information, especially on the player recruiting side of things, we hear firsthand from these recruits how their thoughts on Larry Johnson, how he's recruiting them, the whole 9 yards. And what they are telling us does not add up to what certain articles are putting out. They do not add up. Now, which information am I going to believe? I'm going to believe the recruits, right, that are actually in the middle of this thing talking. Like, we're talking about on and off air because, yeah, we have conversation with these recruits before and after sometimes about some things they don't want to share on YouTube Live, but they'll share it with us, and they do. So I'm telling you right now, Larry Johnson in the recruiting world is looked at as the GOAT.
Yep.
As the GOAT. You know what I mean? So we'll see, we'll see and wait and see who he signs at the end of this. But tomorrow, I've got a lot of notes to go over, looking at the upcoming official visits and kind of a little more, some more details to show you that this freaking out about defensive line recruiting, especially this year, I'm not sure where that's coming from too much anymore. Like I said, I have my fears as well and some things I don't agree with as well. But when you hear the linemen that are coming for official visits and you hear the amount of linemen that we are top 2 in, top 1 on several of them, I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised at what Larry Johnson, the defensive staff, Ryan Day, and Ohio State is doing on the recruiting trail this year, because we are just blessed. We are blessed to root for the Ohio State University. We're the number 2 class in the nation right now, and we're going to be top 5. Nobody else really compares. There's no other team that compares to the 20-year run we got going on. So get excited if you're an Ohio State fan, man. A lot of good things going on.
Please
in
do.
Buckeye
Trust
Nation.
me. It's going to be good news. I'm telling you. Just be happy. You're going to be smiling at the end of this thing.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, they're going to take 5 or 6 defensive linemen in this class. That's what I'm predicting that they're going to do. But again, stay tuned. Tomorrow, what's today? Today Tuesday? Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. We're on Scoop.
Wow. Yeah, so Thursday at 6, we got quite a bit of updates for you guys. Official visits being changed and switched around. A little bit of inside info on some changes in offensive line recruiting on some players that we're in on that have not been talked about, but I think it's going to end up a Buckeye. Same on the defensive line side of the ball. Potential corner, right, that is rising in the rankings very much so and is looking like he's going to be a Buckeye. So a lot of good stuff on tomorrow's show. And Mello will share his thoughts on Atkinson as well. I know he has some information there. So you got to tune in tomorrow on the Scoop channel at 6. These are all my notes that I wanted to talk about tonight that I did not get to. So there are quite a bit of things going on right now that need to be talked about. And I haven't heard anybody else talk about them. And so we will share them with you. Mello, any final words?
Yeah, we'll hit Tyler Atkinson tomorrow and more recruiting information. These are 2 big weekends coming up. The next 2 weekends are going to be massive. And I just like the Buckeyes. I feel like we have the best recruiting staff and the best coaching staff in America. So get ready. We're going on a dynastic run right now. I think we're right in the beginning of it. Enjoy it. It doesn't last forever, but just enjoy the games. Enjoy this entire process. Like the recruiting world is a up and down roller coaster, right? Just enjoy that ride. Fasten your safety belt, strap in, and let's go ahead. We're all Buckeyes. We're all Buckeye fans. And hey, just enjoy it because it's going to get even better.
Yeah. Got a little information too about the defensive scheme because we've been hearing how it's not going to change. It's going to remain the same. Is it? Tune in tomorrow to find out. That was good, right?
That was good. You've been working on that. Were you practicing that in the mirror? I feel like you were. Oh, hold on. Before we get out of here, man, I just gotta put out there about what happened with Angie yesterday. I had the whole community praying for her and her family. How's she doing? Can you give us an update?
Yeah, so big time. Maybe I miscommunicated it, but I don't want to share. I don't want to overshare here. Yeah. But Angie was not in the accident. Okay. Her family members were. So please pray for Angie and pray for other people that were involved in that accident. It's a pretty serious situation, and it's still going on right now. So yeah, please pray for sure. Prayer is a very powerful thing. I've watched it work miracles in my life. So the more the merrier. Please pray for Angie. She loved that girl to death. If you're unaware of who Angie is, she's my number one girl in my life. Love her to death. So please pray for her. She's going through a lot right now. But yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up, Mello.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, but all right, tune in tomorrow at 6. Got a lot of good stuff for you guys. And next week, we got some big timers coming on again right after their official visits. You want to hear what Darius Gray thought of his official visit? Hit that alert bell so you get alerted next week when he is on our show. But on that note, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Go Buckeyes. OH.
I-O.